our sponsor, Parati's Quality Meats, located in Cranford, New Jersey, serving customers all over New Jersey for the past 50 years. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Coach's Talk, presented by You Know Who I Am. I'm Coach Rob Davis, and my very special guest is an Ocean County younger head football coach from Toms River East, Kyle Sandberg. Kyle, thanks for coming on the show today.
Coach, thanks for having us. Thank you for what you're doing the past couple of weeks by doing these talks and really promoting the short conference and our players and our team. So it's really cool, and it's an honor to be on here. So
I had to make sure I put my Toms River East Hawaiian shirt on. So
I tell you, man, you look great. That's a nice shirt. I feel like I'm underdressed here with my T-shirt on here.
Not too many people can pull it off. I actually don't just put it on for the show. I'll go to carnivals like this, and we're talking about December. Like, I don't care.
I don't really care. Like that.
Oh, yeah. I don't care. Coach, I do not care what people think of me. But enough about me. Let's talk about Toms River East Raiders and your program. I'd love to hear more stuff about it. Coach, so I'm going to talk about you, your resume right now. You're the head coach at Toms River East for 6 years, going into your sixth season. Yeah. The interesting part is you were 29 when you became the head coach. Wow.
Yeah, I was 29, young. It was really cool. It was a lot. It's
we'll get
you know,
that.
You thought you were ready, and then you're not. So it was cool, but it was really honor, and to be my alma mater to do it. It was cool.
Well, I wasn't ready to be 50 years old, and it became I was 50. So you're never ready when that time comes forever. So
you think you are, though. You think, but until you're in that fire, man, it's a different ballgame.
This is your sixth year at Toms River East as the head football coach. Prior to that, you were 2 years as an assistant coach, as a defensive coordinator, and then 3 years before that, building up to that defensive coordinator position. That last year, you were the special teams coordinator, and you were there 3 years. You were an assistant for 5, and then you became the head football coach, which is your sixth season here. So all you've done was been a Raider all your life, right?
Yeah, I've been all my life. All my life, been a Raider. Graduated in 2005 and. Went to Southern Connecticut, my football scholarship there, and came back home. And you know, Charlie Dixon reached out to me, and you know, it was like, hey, listen, would you love to come back? And I was coming home anyway. I wanted to be back at East. This is where I wanted to be, and the rest is history. So,
Coach, I mean, it is a positive when you're in the same school, because I'm sure your wardrobe in your closets are all Raiders stuff. Now, you change the stuff. Me, I mean, I've been at Barnegat. I've been at Lacey. I've been at Southern. My wife throws out all those shirts from Lacey, from Southern, and like, you know, plus they don't fit anymore too. But that's one of the positives, being in the same school. You don't have to change your wardrobe.
No, my coaches bust my chops a little bit about they don't get enough clothing, and they always see me with all these different East apparel, and it's just collecting it over the years.
It's a little perk you have as a
player or assistant or the head coach. I got a lot of East stuff.
It's a little perk you have when you're a head football coach. You know, we have no more shirts, guys. Meanwhile, your closet has a couple left over there. But we'll keep that quiet. Now, Coach, this part is very special to me. It's called the process. And the process is where you get to tell the fan base how you became the head football coach at Toms River East. You didn't snap a finger, and then all of a sudden it just came up there. Everything you've did from when you were a high school student built up your resume. Just imagine that. So everything you were doing, your character, your work ethic, led to you to be able to get hired by the Board of Education at Toms River East. Tell us your process on how you became a head football coach from the time you first started football till right now.
I mean, I've been in football most of my life. You know, I remember playing at like 5 years old, and I wasn't from Toms River originally. I lived in Lincoln Park up in Morris County, and you know, my mom moved us down here. I'm a single mom. Me and my brother moved us down here. Toms River in 8th grade, and did 1 year of the Angels down here, Pop Warner system, and then went to high school East. And I was very fortunate. I had a lot of great teachers and coaches at the time when I was there, and really helped direct me. I didn't have it easy growing up, so they were really a big influence on me, and really pursued me to get to where I am at today. So fortunate enough, like I said earlier, to play football at Southern Connecticut, and then I always wanted to come back home. My mom needed help, and I started subbing right out of college. I remember sitting in my bed, and me and my brother shared a room, and I used to have my cell phone next to my pillow. And I was hoping that it would ring, and it was like, hey, can you come in and sub? because that was my income to help out. So I did that, and I interviewed for an opening for phys ed and health, and it worked out, and I was very blessed and thankful. And like I said, once I got a job, Charlie reached out, and he's been there. He was my coach when I was in high school, and he took the program over after Joe Arminio. And when I came back, he was like, "Hey, listen, I'd love for you to volunteer and help out." And I did. I volunteered my first year at Tomsburg East, and then an open paid spot worked out, and then I've been there ever since. But I've always loved football. I remember drawing plays when I was in school and just messing around, and this is what I always wanted to do. So I was patient and waited my time, and we took our lumps and did what we had to do. But I've been blessed, and like I said, the opportunity came about in 2016, and I got the job, and I was very thankful. And like I said, it's something I always wanted to do. It was a goal of mine to be in the chair that I'm in now, to coach the Raiders. And it's hard. Like I said, you think you're ready, and like you said, no one wants to be 50, but you never know until you're in it. And like I said, that first year, you think you're ready. You go through the interview process, and you do all the things, but until you're in that moment and you learn, it's a rude awakening. So it was good. Like I said, the past 6 years have been learning for me, and we've done a tremendous job. We've been on the upside ever since. Like I said, we've done a lot in these 6 years, and I'm very thankful. We've turned the program around. It's very happy where we're at, community-based type deal, and we're doing a great job. I'm really happy with it. And I know administration is very happy. Pat Thomas, our principal, is very thrilled. Our athletic director, Dylan, and we're thrilled. The community's thrilled. At least I know. That's where I'm at. So, but I'm very happy.
Thanks, Coach, for sharing the process. I always love hearing that stuff. You being in Tom Driver, to me, Tom Driver's always been like the mecca of football in Ocean County. It's always been that Tom Driver, that middle ground in Ocean County. I love just thinking on how coaches won over the audience in the interview. Just won it over, because when you're an alumni, people may look at you as, at the time when you're in high school, you're not thinking, hey, 10, 15 years, I'm going to interview. So you just kind of, you're acting like a kid. So it says a lot about you. You probably showed a lot of maturity in high school. So people didn't have that stigma of, hey, he's a goofball. You know what I'm saying? So coaching in your own school that you went to says a lot about you. It really does.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, listen, we're all goofballs. We all have our moments in high school, no doubt about it. And we mature, we grew up in college, and as we get older. But I've always wanted to do this. And my college roommates used to get after me because I was always talking about my portfolio. And I always like, hey, Kyle, why don't you come out and do your thing? I was like, no, listen, I got to work on schoolwork. I got to get my portfolio done. And they still, text me about it. But, everything happens for a reason, and you have a vision, you have a goal, and you got to do those things to achieve it. So
every time you do something, I tell the kids, and even the young coaches too, it's like putting money in the bank, a penny in the bank, and then you want to cash in at the right time. I'm going to throw a name at you, Ken Snyder.
Yeah.
Ken?
I obviously didn't know him, but obviously he's been great and for the program and what he's done at the high school, and really got it going, got it rolling. So, I'm very thankful and honored to say that I am the head coach at Tomsburg East, and the people that were before me, they've done a lot to get us here.
I'm going to just say something. When I became the head football coach at Barnegat, I got connected with Coach Snyder. And the reason for that was his wife, Kathy, was my sister's basketball coach and field hockey coach and mentor and all that stuff right there. So I got to see him at the games and really kind of connected with him through the years. And he always gave me some great insight when he went to my games and what to do. He was just a great guy to always, bounce things off of. That veteran coach. Do you have anybody maybe outside your program or whatever, a veteran coach that your ears kind of listen to a little bit more than the average person?
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in like going to clinics and trying to listen to people talk and try to learn something. I always say to my staff and my kids, you got to grow. You can't stand still. Either getting better or you're not. So, I'm a younger guy, so it's hard. You try to relate. It was hard for me my first couple of years with everything going on, and like I said, the new coach in town and taking over. So I would kind of rely on those other people that I've had within the program helping me out. But as I got older, I'm close with Joe Saccone at Point Beach, and we talk all the time. I mean, he was at the staff at Townsville East.
Yeah.
I forget what years, but we were coaching together, and we were young coaches. So when he got the job and I was coaching, we would bounce ideas. Ron Signorino was my coach in high school, so him being a head coach in town and as a rival, I have much respect for him. So I would always call him here and there in the summertime, just pick his brain a little bit and just get some ideas. So I still do that today. My staff is, I got some young blood, but I got Frank Giannetti with me, who's been with me ever since. And he's legend in a sense, and his tremendous playing career, and he's coached at multiple spots. So, we've been close. And when I got the job, I brought him on, and I always bounce ideas off him all the time. So I've been thankful for Frank. I have Andrew Bilodeau on staff, who's tremendous at Manasquan and what he does, and been around the block. So, bouncing ideas off him as well from a basketball standpoint, just to get a different feel for it and what he's gone through. And like I said, one of my close friends is Eddie Goodman, and he's the head basketball coach at Point Beach. So him and I, we talk all the time. But, bouncing ideas off one another is huge, definitely in cross sports. Like, how does it work for basketball? What are things that you do that maybe I can use for football? And like I said, Eddie would call me and ask me different questions. So I try to just learn from everybody. Especially we have these coaches clinics, whether it's a short conference has these clinics, and I try to go and sit on the computer or go to Monmouth and just listen. So to me, if I can just get something, if I can get an idea from something and use it to my kids' benefit, it really helps them, and obviously helps me grow as a coach. So the other thing is too, I'm fortunate enough to live with a coach. So my wife is the head cheerleading coach at East as well. So I kind of spitball ideas of her. Cheerleading's a lot. She's got a lot of different things going on there with her girls. So I'm fortunate enough to have that at the house. Like I said, just different things, different sports. And I talked about basketball, and the other one is guys who've helped me out pretty much my entire life is Doug Trumbull, and he's a guy who has been a track coach at High School East since I was there. And I remember him my senior year. I think it was his first year of coaching, and just getting to know him as a student, as an athlete. And when I came back after that football season, I volunteered. He asked me to come on to coach track, and just learning the different things from him, just the different methods for a track team, and how he was able to organize the different events, whether it was the sprinters, the distance runners, the jumpers, the throwers, how he did all that was remarkable to me and really helped me organize my football team and my practices. So I still talk to him all the time and really just, whether it's just text, but really he's been a good mentor to me and really has helped me out throughout this entire process. So
now, Coach, that's interesting. Wife/coach.
Yeah. My wife, she's the best, man. There's no doubt about it. And, she makes it work. She does. She gives me the opportunity to be here and coach and do what I like to do. So,
so awesome.
Like I said, a couple of good names I've mentioned, but my wife is got to be number one. So,
well, my wife, I always say I don't need Google because my wife knows every answer. So think of that. When I'm traveling to Florida, when we're driving to Florida and I have questions in my head, I just ask her, she spits out the answer. And you know what? It has to be right, because if it's not right, she's going to argue with me. So I couldn't even imagine her being a coach, because
probably good too, man.
So your wife is a cheerleading coach at Townsville East?
Yeah, she's a head cheerleading coach at Townsville East.
Well, then the school spirit on the field must be incredible, because if it's not, it's a discussion during the dinner table.
No problem. Yeah, it's a problem. And, sometimes I talk to her about ideas, what we're going to do for like senior nights or opening day. And just the atmosphere of the game. And, I joke around, but like, hey, listen, Brienne, I'm kind of your boss with this, but she knows, we all know she's the boss at home. So we don't mess around.
Do you ever critique her? Like, somebody can say, Coach, your play calling was atrocious in the third quarter. Do you ever tell her that, I didn't really get it in the third quarter with the pom-poms and you cheering? It really wasn't like.
No, I don't even touch it. Right. She's got it down to a T, and she's the top dog.
That's great. Head football coach and cheerleading coach, on the sidelines at the same time.
So it's cool. Our son comes and our families come.
That's awesome.
And like I said, it's something we try to develop a community based in the family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's unique. It's definitely unique.
Well, I'm kind of half joking about it, but I do have a lot of respect for cheerleading coaches. My assistant coach, I introduced to my cheerleading coach, Shannon Smith, and she brought them to the nationals and do all that stuff. And those girls on those sidelines do so much for our football program, keeping the morale up and just high energy, just positive role models in the community. And cheerleaders are very important to all our programs.
Yeah, you definitely, especially this past season, you definitely felt that. Some teams didn't have their cheerleaders or their band come to the away game. So it's, very quiet, very quiet.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, to me, coaching's coaching. It doesn't matter what sport or what level. Coaching's coaching. Coach. Yeah. A thing I see a lot of you in me was when I started the program at Barnegat, I was 32 years old. And at the time, I think I was the youngest coach, one of the youngest coaches in the whole area. But as I got older, within my own staff, I wasn't the young guy anymore. I became the elder guy because I started bringing younger guys into the program. So it was evolving to something different when I was young. And then as I started getting into the program, I looked down and there's all young pups that were assistant coaches. And I became the old fart coach and all that stuff. So that was tough. Coach, looking forward to seeing you grow with that program. And that was an excellent, excellent job of talking about the process. All right, Coach. I want to talk about the COVID season, but first I'm going to take this mask and throw it to the side because I'm sick of wearing that mask. We all know what the COVID did to the country, and we all know what it presented with our own football programs. Let's talk about something positive in your program. Give me something positive. I want to hear that the COVID taught you last season.
Yeah, we always talk about adversity. That's something I preach to my kids all the time, and whether it's something simple that maybe they didn't get so COVID was a ton of adversity in many different ways for many different people. And for me, these kids and really the parents in the community, they came together to make sure that these seniors really had that experience the best they could, with COVID. And it was scary. I mean, I got COVID. I shut down the program early on. That was probably one of the first cases in the short conference. And, we were out for 2 weeks and we didn't have a camp. We played our first game off 3 days of practice, and then we played another one 5 days later. So it was rough, but what the parents did and what the community did, the school and the kids, how they came together as one and really, made it work. And they built each other. They were there for each other. They made everything feel like it was the best it could be, as normal as possible. So I was so impressed with that. And we talk about that as football coaches, as coming as one and being a team. And we really were a team last year with everything we've gone through. And like I said, it was very ugly early on for us. And then as the season went on, we got better. That would be one. The second thing I would say to you would be technology. The way we're operating right now in Google Classroom and how the kids really took ownership of that and made it work and had Google Meets and got together and tried to learn the best they can without being in a room like a normal locker room or classroom. So, technology was huge, but really as they come together as a family and as a team, it's what we always preach as football coaches, but really that year with people, people were dying and people lost loved ones and people were really sick, and the East community really still came together and made it work for this team, especially the seniors. Yeah.
I mean, my motto every year was being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And this just like, yeah, here you go, Coach. Take that motto and use it now, all that. But we told our program, because we all had issues. COVID was hitting everybody's households, directly, indirectly. When you go on a football field, and that's been true all the time. I always tell the kids, if you ever have a problem, just go on a football field. Anytime, at night, whenever you go on there, you forget about your problems. It just helps you deal with things. I mean, I go there many times. I still do. Yeah. Trust me. We all got problems. And that you're entertainers. And we want to do X, Y, Z so we can actually play a game of football. So those families come to games and forget about those common problems that the world is dealing with right now. So that's a great job, Coach. Technology was huge. for you guys, and you dealt with adversity, and Tom Driver East overcame the COVID football season. All right, Coach, now you're going to talk 2021 Tom Driver East high school football schedule, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. And then on the right side is the newly formed division called the Federal Division. And we'll talk about that after you talk about the schedule. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. I think when they started doing the different divisions and trying to base it off, wins from previous years, they're trying to make it more competitive. And, they are. The games are more competitive, at least for me it's been. And I know some coaches aren't happy about it. But, when you're winning games and you're doing really well, you're going to play the better team. So for us, we've been trending up. We've done a great job over the past couple seasons, and to put us in, divisions and teams that have been winning as well. So it's definitely a schedule that is tough, without a doubt. Every single game is hard. It's hard to win a game. So, off the bat, we got Southern, and Chuck Donahue's done a fantastic job, man. He's a great guy. Another guy that I've talked to in the past about coaching and in philosophies. He's been wonderful. So to start with them and then all the way down to Manasquan, it's a tough, man. It's a tough gauntlet. So looking forward to it. It's a real test every single week, and we just got to do a good job getting our kids prepared and having them be able to be competitive to play these teams. And I tell them, if you're competitive, anything could happen. Just be competitive, battle through, and we'll see what happens at the end of the game. So, like I said, the schedule is definitely interesting. Looking forward to it. I do see that, we do know it's only 6 games or 7 games right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the pods. I think it's kind of cool. And for us last year, they started that with COVID. So we were in the pod 5, and the 1 seed was Manchester, and we went up to Manchester and won that game. And then we played the 2 seed, who was Shore, and we won that game. So I told my kids, we're pod champs, and they loved it. And that was something that I tried to tell them during that time. Like, listen, this is the playoff. You're in a 14 bracket. Let's win it. Let's win the next 2 weeks and be champions. So
yes,
we've done that, and it was a great time, and it was a great way to end the season. And they were happy. So we talk about being back-to-back champs at high school East because, you kind of are in a way. So looking forward to see what happens with that. But obviously you got to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. And our eyes are on Southern right now.
Yeah, pod play scares me because you just don't know who you're playing. It's like grab bag and do it. But, Coach, let's talk about the schedule. 3 non-conference games, and oh my God, that is tough team. You got Southern Regional, a big Group 5 school that Chuck Donahue and his staff does an excellent job there year in and year out. You have Manasquan, who we've played for years, and Coach, they're one of the historic programs in the Shore Conference, and they got a lot of guys back. And then your rival, Tom Driver North. But I want to blanket these 2 things to you. You're playing your rival schools, East and North. Only South. I'm sorry, North and South. How the buildup in your community playing those 2 teams? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. It's unique. It's no doubt about it. It's unique, and I love it. It's something so cool that the really community gets together. Whether it's at East, at North, or at South, it's just a cool atmosphere to be a part of, and it's something that we look forward to every year. And ruling the river is what we've said over the years and time, and playing those schools, and every year's tough. There's no doubt about it. We've been battling with Toms River South past few years, and we won a couple, they won a couple, but North honestly has been dominating. So it's something we got to try to break and this year and really try to get over that hump. But without a doubt, it's a definitely unique situation. And our kids, they all know each other. They all hang out at the beach, or they're all at the mall, or they played AYF Pop Warner together. So they all know each other, and the coaches really know each other too. So it's cool, and it's definitely special. And not a lot of towns have that. Most towns maybe have 1, and maybe 2, but to have 3 that play each other every year, the alumnus come back, the alumni. It's cool. It's definitely unique.
Well, you share one board of education, so you have one board of education, and you got 3 schools. It just, I mean, it's just a very fun rivalry atmosphere, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And, like I said, some of the people that are at East, whether they're teaching or they're, this substituting there from Tom's River. So some of them might have been at South.
Yeah.
Some of them might have been at South before South was South. So some of them graduated from North. So they all have their ties to the community, and they might be teaching at East, but they might have been graduated from North. So it's cool. It's a really special opportunity every year for our three high schools to really play each other. And the district does a good job. The community does a good job building it up. And the bands get together. It's something cool, like the bands who play the national anthem together. It's special. Right. Without a doubt, it's special. And, those are games that, I talked about looking at Southern week 1, but, those games you look forward to every year.
That's great. That atmosphere that you guys have when you play any one of those Toms River teams is second, and I mean it, second to none. And that was me growing up. Couldn't wait to watch you three teams all playing each other. And it's always been a great, hard-fought, competitive game. Really.
Yeah, I remember as a player, it was so cool. And back when I played, we used to play North on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And they got rid of that past couple of years. But I remember in 2019 going to North and just how it was packed. I mean, two great teams. And it's just so many people. And it was really cool to just people you haven't seen in years coming back to watch. And to have that every year, like I said, is special in a way. So very fortunate and very thankful.
Let's now slide over to the division on the right-hand side of the screen. Newly formed divisions every year. We don't know who we're getting, and they try and put competitive games, which, as you can see, they have done in your division. So let's run down these new teams in there. Of course, Toms River South is a common opponent. Right. That is a very, very good division, Coach. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I said earlier, they're trying to make each division competitive. And without a doubt, this is a tough one. And every team is tough. And like I said, it's hard to win each week. And, the other teams in here, Freehold, Long Branch, SJB, and Toms River South are all very good. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens every week and how the division plays out itself. But you have to, they're the best team ever. That's the way I tell my kids. Every team you play is the best team ever. And without a doubt, these teams are very good. So it's going to be interesting to see how it, like I said, plays out. Hopefully it's us at the top. But like I said, our goal is to be competitive and really be in these games, and anything can happen.
Coach, we're going to talk about your team a little bit later, but just talking about Toms River South, they got a lot of guys back, and they're excited about their football team next year.
Ronnie, they got a lot of good guys coming back. They had a tremendous season last year.
They did.
Without a doubt, they were very good. I actually said it for a while they were going to be very good, and this year they got a lot coming back. So, he's done a great job the past couple seasons, and really his entire tenure at South, building the program up, getting to where it is today. And, that game's going to be at East. So it's going to be really cool to see the crowd and have us being our first home game, and really schools open back up. And it's cool. It's a really good time to be at a football game in Toms River. So, like you said, they've done a tremendous job. They got a lot of kids back, and I know they're excited over there and looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
I know Mike.
And then you got St. John Vianney, who we played my last game. We played them at their place. They got some skilled kids back. They're going to be a dynamic football team. They're looking really good in the 7-on-7s. You have Long Branch. The thing that scares me about Long Branch is, and first of all, they are doing really well in the 7-on-7s. I know they did real well at Rutgers. And where's the other one they did? At the Manalapan 7-on-7, is that Coach George is last season, and everybody knows about it. Legendary Coach George. Yeah. And those Long Branch kids are going to play and run through the wall for him. And it's his last year, and they got some athletes all over the place. They're going to be scary this year.
Funny, so I say that too. And I wasn't sure if this is his last year or he was done. And I don't mean this in any disrespect, but I was hoping he was done because by this being his last year, like you said, these kids are going to go crazy for him. They're going to go through the wall for him. They want to send him out the right way. And he's done a tremendous job through the years with his program, with that program, with that whole community. We played them back in 2018, and just being at Long Branch and meeting him for the first time, each other through, good channels, but really to shake his hand and just, it was an honor for me. So, like you said, these kids are going to go nuts for him without a doubt. And, we're just going to try to keep up to the intensity and do our best.
Yeah, Long Branch is going to be very good. And, of course, Freehold Borough, they have a lot of key returning players back that were all sure, all division type of players. And that, looking from the top to bottom, is a very, very challenging division. But you guys are going to be talked about too on the other shows with these guys, that they'll be talking about you too. Coach, that's a great take on your 2021 schedule. And thanks for talking about your division. Okay, now, Coach, I want you to talk about some guys that make us head football coaches look good, and that's the assistant football coaches on your staff. Those are the guys that are the backbone to everybody's program, and I know you speak very highly of them all the time when we talk throughout the offseason. Here's your chance. Tell us your 2021 Tom DeVries Raiders football coaching staff.
So we were fortunate enough to be Coach of the Year, and I have always said this award is not just about the head coach, it's about the assistants. We don't get to this position, this spot, without our assistant coaches. And my staff has been tremendous throughout the year. And this year is going to be a little different, and but they're all excited. I got a couple new guys. Dan Sakala is going to be our defensive coordinator. He's going to take over for Vinny Arminio, who's now at Toms River South. And Vinny's done a great job for me the past couple of years. He's the head basketball coach over there. So, just made sense for him as a business move, and he's now over there. So Dan stepped up, and he's excited about it, man. He's been, since he's come over to us, he's been all about football, all about the kids, helping out the school, and he's thrilled. So I know he's going to do a great job, and he's really excited for the opportunity. Still on the defensive side, like I said earlier, I got Frank Giannetti, who's been a Raider forever.
A veteran.
He's great. Like, he's tremendous. So Joe Arminio Jr., he's been with me ever since as well. As well as Frankie. I have Andrew Bilodeau, who's going to help out in the secondary, and really it's a new role for him. He was our freshman coach last year, and now I brought him up to the varsity, and he's really excited. He's been a great job, a blessing in more ways than one. So I'm looking forward to that. I have Dylan Ranieri, who's a former player. My first former player now. I'm getting that old, Coach.
Getting old, Coach. Getting old.
He's from my first year as a head coach. He's coming back, and he's going to coach, help out with the linebackers. And then the offensive side of the ball, myself, I've been calling the offense. I didn't call it last year, but this year, I want to take it back and do it the way I want to do it. So I have Tony Durkin, who's been with me past couple seasons, who has brought so much knowledge, X's and O's, to us, and really has helped out our program. I have two new guys. I have Matt Hughes, who's going to be the offensive line coach, who's first-year teacher in the building last year, also a wrestling coach, and he's been excited to be part of our staff since he got here. So I'm looking forward to that with him. And I have Steve Petrosino, who has been coaching baseball at the high school for the past couple of years, and great coach, tremendous energy, hardworking. And I had an opportunity, and I was just talking to him. I said, listen, you want to coach wide receivers? He's like, hell yeah. I said, perfect. So he was really excited and thrilled. And, that's our staff right now. So I'm excited about it. A couple of returning guys, a couple of new faces, but all have the same goal and same focus, and that's to put our kids in the right.
Yeah, well, you got things, Coach. Successful. Yeah, you got things going in the right direction, and like you said, Coach Giannetti. Just want to talk a little bit about him.
Sure.
I've seen him as I've seen him as a player.
Right.
Pretty good player. I seen him coaching. To say the least. I seen him coaching in different schools. He was at I think Jackson Liberty, and he's at Tom DeVries, and he to me, looking from the outside in, he brings a lot of juice to the position that he plays, and a lot of credibility too. Coach, talk a little bit about him.
So he obviously successful, so successful. He came out of high school East and went to Penn State and went to the NFL, and he came back. I think he actually started out at Toms River North with Bob Nanny, and has been there for a couple of years, and then went over to Jackson Liberty, and then came over to us 5 years ago. And like I said, he's been tremendous. His energy, his wisdom. He's really good at his people, his D-line. He knows it better than most, and he takes a lot of pride in that. So, like you said, the juice he brings, the fire, it's second to none. So thankful. Like I said, he teaches me a lot, and I learn a lot from him. And whether it's football, whether it's being a father, whether it's lifting, it doesn't matter. It's just he has a lot of knowledge, and he's very open. And like I said, he's willing to help you at any moment. So,
Coach, it's nice to hear you have a veteran coach like Coach Giannetti, and then you got young pups coming up. So now you're going into that mid-range age level. So now you're not that young football coach so much in your program. People are looking at you as the elder. So that's going to be something you're going to be adjusting to.
Yeah. So when I took over, I was the second youngest on the staff as the head coach.
Right.
So now I'm starting to become like you said, the middle part of the staff. So it's cool. You're getting from all angles. So no, I'm excited about this group, and I think they're excited. They're thrilled, and really to try to help our kids be competitive. No doubt about it.
Okay, now we're going to talk 2021 Toms River East Raiders football. I can't wait to hear it. Before you go on, Coach, just tell us about what you guys run schematically, offensively, defensively, just quickly, and then let's get right into those Raiders that we can't wait to talk about.
Yeah, so offensively, I do a two-back pistol, and it's multiple in that sense. I can move them from many different directions. So it's trying to find those kids that fit those parts in a way. And then defensively, we've been a 4-2-5 past couple seasons, and we're going to, I think, try to continue on that. But, just really every week just adapt to the opponents we're going to see. So those are all ideas you have, but then once you get to camp, it's what you have, and then try to put them in the right spot. So I'm excited about that. Kids coming back. It's a very young group. The past couple of years, we've had players that were 3-year starters, 2 starters, and now I got a younger group of seniors that have some experience, Dante Carr and Nick Medina, Eric Scanlon, Anthony Encarnacion. Those are some of the skilled guys that are coming back, that are seniors. I have Nino Scala, who, one of the linemen that are returning as a senior, and these are kids that have lettered through the years. So, but, I have a lot of other seniors and a lot of other juniors and sophomores that are going to play or and be on the field this year. So, I'm excited about it. I don't know, obviously how it could turn out, but I think the senior group, they've been around the 2019 team where we had that run, and they've been around last year with the adversity. So they've done a great job this year having the kids come together and be a team and be a unit and bond. And, the freshmen are really getting that now. It's really cool to see the seniors interact with the freshmen and just help them out every single day. So it's something I try to preach with my guys. The freshmen are going to be the future, and they're going to have to learn from you. So for the next couple of years, they're going to act the way you're treating them. Yeah. So treat them right, man. Treat them as leaders and teach them the right way, and how we do it here at East with pride and toughness. So no, I'm thrilled. Like I said, there's a bunch of other kids I have. If I keep naming them, I'm going to miss somebody.
Yeah.
So just a little quick couple kids and. But I'm thrilled. Like I said, I got a young group, a lot of juniors that are coming back that played as sophomores, and like I said, that senior group is a good core. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Coach, it's from a head coaching perspective, you never know how you don't know how you're going to be when you're a senior, because you're a junior, and then when you're a senior, it just hits you as a player. Wow. I'm now the guy that I always looked up to through the years. That's what's exciting about head coaches, is who's going to step up to be a leader, because you could tell kids how to be a leader, but until they actually lead, that's when the leaders really come out. And youth to me equals excitement. You don't know what you're getting. It's like Christmas. You're opening up a box and wow, we got youth. And that does not mean you're not going to win games. It just means that they haven't had their shot yet, right?
Yeah, no, it's like coaching. Like I said earlier, like being a head coach and getting ready for that moment. You think you're ready, but until you're in it, you really don't know. It's the same thing as players. You see players in practice, they might look great, but until they're under the lights on Fridays against another team, they're going to see what they're all about. So I'm excited about them, and my kids know what I'm about. And I always tell them, I don't care what you've done last year. I don't. And I say this to the parents too. I don't care. It's this year. What have you done for this year since the season ended last year to this moment now? Because kids change, man. They're still kids, and that's something we might forget as coaches with football. Like they're 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. So their bodies are changing, their minds are changing. There's so much going around them. So what are they doing from year to year? Are they working harder? Are they getting stronger? Are they getting faster? Or are they kind of staying the same where they were last year? But regardless, there's always someone next to them trying to beat them out and trying to train harder than them. So, it's something I've preached to these guys and told them, like, listen, whatever happened last year, that's last year. This year's a brand new year, man. So, you better continue to work your tails off and try your best, because there's a lot of kids on this team, and they all want to start and they all want to play.
Coach, I want to ask you one question. What are your numbers? Yeah. What are your varsity numbers and your projected freshman numbers?
So in the summer, I got all the kids coming through and working out and lifting. Right now, I've seen about 100 kids in total.
Wow. That including freshmen?
That includes a freshman. Mm-hmm. So freshman numbers right now, at the sign-up meeting, I had about 30. Mm-hmm. I've seen somewhere between 24 and 25 this summer so far. So it might be down compared to other years. But as a program standpoint, we've had 100. I'll probably finish the season somewhere between 85 to 90 in the program. That's what it's been the past couple of years. Good. So
that's good numbers.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We're doing something, right? We're trying to do a lot of good things here, and the kids are coming back. But really what gets me excited is the new kids, the kids that had played maybe baseball or they wrestled or basketball or track and never played football before, and now they're coming out for the team.
That's awesome.
So I got a lot of kids that have joined that never played before. And that's what gets me excited, because that means they see something, they're excited about what we're doing, and they want to be a part of it, or they want to help. And a lot of them do help. I will never forget Anthony Encarnacion was a kid I mentioned earlier. He was a baseball kid, and he would come out and work out in the summertime. Good-looking kid, good-sized kid. And I'd be like, Anthony, listen, you could really do something with this. He goes, nah, I'm a baseball guy. And eventually what would happen is every week he would get more excited, he'd get more into it, and he fell in love with it. And I'm glad he did, because he's a tremendous football player. He's a tremendous baseball player, tremendous athlete. And but like I said, these kids, the more you get from different sports, and that's what we promote, man. We want these kids from all different sports to play football. But more importantly, I want my football kids to do wrestling, to run track, to play basketball, to do baseball, to do lacrosse, everything. So, it makes our community and it makes our school better if we're sharing the athletes.
Coach, I want to say a couple things from my end to you. First of all, being a head coach for 18 years, I get to see other people's programs. One thing I saw about you, had the pleasure of watching you play. I had the pleasure of you getting into the coaching fraternity. I had the pleasure of watching you become a head football coach at a young age, and had the pleasure of scouting another team and watching you guys. And the thing I came across with you lead by enthusiasm. And I really, really, really respected that from the outside looking in. You're very involved in your players, and it shows, because they'll run through the wall from you. You have a bunch of coaches that are also very excited, and you built a very nice staff from top to bottom. Just from me, from a coach from 18 years looking around, and of course I wasn't like doing a study on you guys, but now that I'm out of the game, I wanted you to know that, it's for me, I appreciate coaching and watching you and watching a program groom you as a player to now you are a coach is something that's unique and exciting, and you should be very proud of it.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. We try to do a lot with the kids and really be the example for them and do the right things. And, that matters to the kids. So, if we're asking our kids to do certain things, we try to do the same thing. And like you said, if these kids will run through a wall for you, do whatever they want for you. So that's it, man. We try to make it a family atmosphere, and we got each other's back, and we're there for the kids, not just at the moment where they're wearing a uniform or in the high school, but once they graduate. So I've seen a lot of kids that come back and work out or lift or just come back and just talk to the kids, and or now coaching. It's cool. And I'm really thankful and thrilled for this. And what we've done over the years has been, what I've liked to see for the East community. So thank you for that.
I loved it. Thank you for coming on the show. And want to wish the Tom River East Raiders the very best this season. And let's forget about this. This. Let's entertain everybody in the Shore Conference, because I'm going to tell you something right now. The ShoreFootballReport.com is going to entertain the Shore Conference. Coach, spread the word to your football community about the ShoreFootballReport.com. Every day during the week, during the season, I'm going to have content on my site constantly videos and articles, and I'll be evaluating talent. I'll be helping with college football programs, making sure kids are getting looked at in your schools. I'll supplement that, which you do a good job with. So it's a lot of good things. I'm excited to cover you guys. I really am.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever need anything, contact me. Don't forget, though, the .com. The .com is important now.
.com, very important.
You have to be able to spell the and .com at the end. If you do that, you're going to reach me. That's that. All right.
I appreciate it, man. You've done a great job so far promoting, like I said, what we're doing here with football, high school sports, and the coaches and the team. So I can't thank you enough for allowing me on here and to talk. And no, I thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. Actually, it's been fun.
My wife goes to me. She goes, "What are you doing tonight?" Because she wanted to do something. I said, "I don't know. I got to see if I got to do an interview." She goes, "Who are you? Who are you? I don't like this side of you. I don't like." But this is helping me keep away from. I miss football. I really do, and I'm going to do it a different end. But now I like this. I like getting to know you, and I like letting people get to know you through this. Make sure you spread the word about this interview, and let's see how many views you go on, because I'm keeping track of a top 10, not just
really?
Coach, top 10 social media views hit right now.
Really?
Right now, 378. Manchester's leading the Shore, and I'm going to post this and keep spreading the word. And let's get in the top 10 for getting views on this interview. You hear me?
Let's do it. I got you.
You got you. And listen, tell the cheerleading coach, spread the word. So you got one coach in your corner. Maybe.
I got one who's going to watch it. She's going to be my biggest critic.
You'll have at least 2 views. That's what you do.
Yeah, 2.
All right, Coach. Be good.
Appreciate it,
and thank you very much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.